let's see. Is it working? Oh, snap. Oh, let me see. Yay, hold on. Y'all know I got to check. Let me make sure. Yes, okay. Let me check the audio, guys. Testing. Okay. I think we're good. We're just trying to hear the sound back. Okay, cool. All right, guys. Let me let's turn the music down for just a second so we can kind of use the singing bowl, kind of ground into things, because it's a weird new moon. It's weird. It's weird. The energy is weird. Anyways, all right, I'm gonna pause this music so I can get my singing bowl out and we ground together. If you feel called to do this, if you're catching the live stream or the playback, all right. Either way, timestamps will come afterwards. Here we go. Let's ground before we talk about anything. Caution that this can get loud, especially since I'm right by the microphone. You've been warned. Okay, guys. Woo. All right, let me get my music back on. All right, I really needed to ground because, like I said, the energy has been kind of weird. I always feel like with a new moon, you know, because it's like the darker side of the moon, I usually have less energy, or I usually observe people having less energy. But I think because of like the configuration of this new moon, is squaring Uranus, right? And actually, the moon right now is not square. We're actually probably feeling the square to the sun more because the sun is going to square it first. And I know you guys have also been hearing about. I know I'm looking at the screen and you guys are right here. I'm sorry. I haven't streamed from a platform in a long time. I have just been doing it from my phone, but I wanted to test it out again. But I know you guys have also been hearing about the yod or the finger of God when it comes to this new moon. And that's kind of why this feels like we're already in eclipse season this year. So that's what I want to talk about as well. I just want to break that down a little bit because I know we've been hearing it, right? It's such a buzzword right now. The yod, the finger of God, and I just want to break that down. So today I am going to be having you guys' charts on the screen. And like I said, it's interesting how I feel about this energy. For one, I already have your tarot readings coming out tomorrow for the Virgo new moon. So you guys will get your tarot readings. But I want to frame this one in a bigger arc, a bigger story arc. Y'all know I like framing these things in stories, which the stories are coming back. They're coming back. But for this one, I just kind of wanted to do it this way. And because we have the Virgo new moon tomorrow at 0 degrees, then that starts our new lunar cycle, the Virgo lunar cycle. Then in the middle of that, we have, I was going to say Sagittarius, we have the Pisces lunar eclipse on September 7th. And then we close off eclipse season with a second Virgo new moon, but that time is going to be at 29 degrees. So a lot of what we're doing at this Virgo new moon, we're going to come back to at the second Virgo new moon solar eclipse at 29 degrees at the very end of Virgo. And so what was really stressed to me through spirit, you know, this is Virgo. Virgo is earth energy, is mutable earth, but it's very much about the present moment. It's very much about being, you know, in tune with your body, in tune with your daily routines, habits. It's also about small steps, small refinements, small adjustments. Also, I've been hearing the word somatic. That came to me this morning, the word somatic. So it's a lot about the body, okay? And how things are just kind of stored in our bodies. Like, I had this random urge earlier today to just stretch. I mean, like, I think I was picking up something on the ground. I was like, wow, this really feels good. I was just down there for a while. And that's when I heard the word somatic. So this energy should bring you back into your body. Okay, it should really bring you back into your body. So we're gonna start. Also, I know this is such a random time, but it is what it is. We are gonna start with looking at the yard, just so I can kind of explain like what we're looking at, and just why it's important and how to work with it. So that's what I want to give you guys today. Small steps, small tweaks and adjustments that you are to start stepping into at the first part of this Virgo lunar cycle. And it's going to bring your attention by the September 7th Pisces lunar eclipse. It's going to bring your attention to what needs to leave, what needs to go. Okay. What is needing to be cleared out, so that when we have that final eclipse in Virgo, you're able to come back to these first steps that we are doing now, and you're able to fully embody them with clarity, because that lunar eclipse will have cleared what was left of the emotional baggage of the past. Okay, so that's how I want to frame today. Again, your tarot readings are going to come out in the daily readings tomorrow, which thank you guys so much for the support in those. I really do appreciate that. And it's been so enjoyable to do. Like, genuinely, I've been loving that. All right, let me get us set up. Sorry, I had an alarm on. I thought I put my phone, I did put it on silent. Okay. Yeah, let's get it set up. Let me get to the other screen. I've been working with the screens and stuff. Ah, get it, it's coming up. All right. I can't see any chats or anything right now if you guys aren't chatting. All right, but I do have my little notes. I just really quickly, I want to go over the yod, or the finger of God, right? So you guys know, like, what is this? It sounds so mystical. What are we talking about? What does it mean for me? Okay, so hopefully you guys can see the cursor. Let's double check. Hold on. Yes, okay, great. Okay, so I do have Virgo's chart up, because I'm going to start with them. Happy solar return, Virgo. But I'm going to use their chart to explain the yod too. All right, so the yod is like an isosceles triangle. Yes, we are going back to school, honey. It's an isosceles triangle. You can see it right here. So this is what people are talking about. These lavender or purple violet lines here. Hold on one second, guys. Come in. Hold on, guys. Oh, he in there. Sorry, y'all. So you have the two lines right here. Okay, this is actually, let's start at the base. So we have two sextile planets, right? We have Saturn and Neptune down here at the base. We have Pluto down here at the base. You also have Saturn and Neptune sextiling Uranus as well. Okay. So you got this sextile, these two sextiles down here. This is our base. These planets are working together. Okay. And then you have two quincunxes. These are the two lavender lines right here. Okay. These are forming a point. You can see that they are forming a point. That point is the quote unquote yod. That point is the finger of God. Okay, where is it pointing to? Our apex right here, the new moon. So the new moon is literally the point of pressure, the point of change. Okay, that is where the quote unquote finger of God is pointing to. And these base planets down here are the supporting factors in that, right? These are the things that are helping us, but they're quincunxes, so it can feel rather uncomfortable. It can feel awkward, the changes, the shifts we have to make. And that's only because you have Pluto in Aquarius, which is fixed air, and you have Saturn and Neptune in Aries, which is mutable fire. No, cardinal fire, excuse me, it's cardinal fire. So it's different elements, different modes trying to work together. So you can see how that can feel kind of weird, kind of awkward, okay? But they are working together nonetheless, but they're forming quincunxes, meaning something's just not, it's not gelling, it's not seeing eye to eye with the moon in Virgo. The moon, the sun in Virgo up there is the apex. This is where we're being called, this is where we're being nudged, and we can't explain it. It's just unexplainable. You don't understand what's going on. All these things are shifting. So that's the main thing that I'm going to be looking at for all of you. And then we're also going to look at the square to Uranus, okay? Because Uranus is playing a big factor in this new moon because it squares it, okay? You can see that, this teal line that I'm kind of going over in Virgo's chart. It's up here at the top of the chart, all right? It's going to be in a different place for all of you. Okay, the finger of God, right? It's pointing to like this point of destiny, right? Where something, again, you're feeling this like unexplainable call or nudge, or, it's like this inner feeling. But I think at this new moon, in fact, I know at this new moon, it could very much be triggered by unexpected events with the Uranus square. So the Uranus square, I think, is the thing that's going to prompt action. Okay? The squares prompt action. Okay, the sextiles are kind of just supporting factors working in the background. You work with this energy. Okay, and I'm going to talk about, I really want to get deep into what each sign can do to harness this energy. Okay? I'm saying okay, like I'm having a conversation, but that's how I want it to feel. Like I'm just having a chat with you guys and we're just kind of talking. All right, so I think that's all that I want to say about the yod. Let me come back. Right? I'm like, I gotta make sure that I'm on the screen. Okay. All right. Good. All right. Let's get to the yod in the breakdown for Virgo. And for each sign, because I've already done your tarot readings, you just have to stay tuned for them tomorrow morning. I'm going to give everybody a wild card for today. All right. So just some extra juice for you. All right. Let's tap in. I'm going to write timestamps first. Let me get that together so that I can have that organized after the live stream. Okay. Hopefully they sync up. We'll see. All right, Virgo. Okay. Virgo-licious, let's talk. Virgo rising, first, sun, whatever placement. I don't really put too much weight on that, honestly. Okay. I've kind of already gone over your configuration, but let's formally go over it again, right? That was just the general one. Okay, so Virgo. You got Saturn retrograde, you have Neptune retrograde as part of your base right here, right? And you have them sextile to Pluto. Pluto's in your 6th house. Saturn and Neptune are in your 8th house, okay? They are both forming a quincunx to you, literally you, Virgo, because the new moon is happening in your 1st house, okay? You have a square to you, all right, coming from your 10th house. Okay, so let's break that down step by step. In a nutshell, what I would say, Virgo, is that this yod is really challenging y'all's need to have everything figured out. Seriously, okay? Like a lot of y'all are being asked to really trade in perfectionism for like your purpose, you know, like really leaning into your purpose instead of trying to like make everything perfect and micromanaging your life. You know, it's more so like letting divine timing rearrange things for you. And that's going to be uncomfortable, okay? That's going to be uncomfortable. And we'll talk about that. It might feel uncomfortable, okay? Um, yeah, you guys have been kind of self-sacrificing, um, and you have these mindsets about service that erase you though in the process, right? So it, there's a lot of healing here, but you have to kind of let go of these impossible standards that you guys set for yourselves. All right, so let's start with the first house. All right, where you guys are having the new moon. This is, like I said, it's like a cosmic magnifying glass on y'all. Like you could literally say that the finger of God is pointing at you, Virgo. Okay, like that's how we can look at it, and we can't ignore. I know that this new moon is happening not by the nodes, because that's how we get an eclipse when the moon, the cycles are happening very close to the nodes, but it feels like an eclipse, you know. So we do have to note that the south node has been moving through your sign. Okay. But this is your identity, your purpose, I mean, your presence, excuse me, the way you move, the way you speak, really how you show up. Okay. And it's kind of showing you guys where there's been some misalignment. Okay, where you've not necessarily been in alignment with your higher self, and it does have a lot to do with that self erasure. They won't let me leave that word alone for y'all. Okay, you have Saturn and Neptune in the eighth house, right? This is illuminating your hidden debts. We're not just talking about finances, okay? I'm talking emotional debts, relational, spiritual, probably more so than financial, honestly. Um, I want y'all to really ask yourselves, where have you been overextending yourself in your relationships? Like, where have you been carrying burdens that were never yours to carry in the first place? Because that's where Saturn is going to demand that you take accountability there, and Neptune is going to dispel any illusions about that. Oh, I'm a good person. Oh, I'm nice. Oh, I love them. Oh, if it's at the expense of you, that is going to demand accountability from you. This is very deep work in the eighth house, Virgo, and like I said, it can be uncomfortable. It can seem invisible, like people don't see what you're doing there, but it is profound. Okay, so that's why I'm saying at this new moon, I don't want to make it like so sensational. Y'all know how I feel about that. But I mean, I naturally get excited with these cycles. Like, I'm excited about this, but I also realize that it is important to stress that, or emphasize that, small steps are so important. Small adjustments, tiny readjustments and revisions are so important at this time. All right. I don't know if you guys are in the chat right now, so I got to stay focused on this, but if you guys are, love you. All right, you got Pluto in your sixth house. I have been seeing this at work for so many Virgo risings. It's been cool to see. But you have Pluto in the sixth house. This is transforming your daily life, right? So again, this is helping you with the overworking, the over pleasing, exhausting your body, exhausting your mind for the sake of others. Okay, like that is no longer serving you. So you see already how these three are working together. They're working together here. Okay. Pluto in your everyday life, and Saturn and Neptune in the places where your life merges with other people. That's the eighth house. Okay. And it can be enmeshment and entanglement if it's messy, you know? So again, tiny adjustments to your routines, your work habits, your self-care rituals. If you do that now, your future self, and I mean like in a few weeks, okay, is going to really thank you for that. All right, let's talk about Uranus in the 10th house. This is the wild card, right? This is the wild factor. This is sudden disruptions, realizations, revelations that could hit your career or hit your public image, the way people view you, the way you put yourself out there, right? For some of you, there could be a role that you thought you understood that literally shifts in an instant. It literally shifts overnight, or you could have a new opportunity that arrives unexpectedly, right? So it's not, I mean, it could feel like chaos. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna gaslight you. It could feel like chaos, but it is liberation. It is, okay? And it's the universe insisting that you have to start showing up as who you really are. You do, rather than what everybody expects you to be. Seriously. And here's the kicker. okay? Like the awkwardness and all of this is that how I looked at this for you guys, Virgo, Uranus rules your sixth house as well. So whatever happens up here in the public image in the career directly affects whatever you do on a day-to-day basis. Do you get me? You understand? So you see, it's all, like I said, it's all working together. It really is. It's all working together. So let's see. I want to touch on like what you guys can actually do. Who's that? Hey, Nikki. Hey, T. Awesome. I'm so happy to see you guys. I hope y'all having a great day. Okay, so Virgo, I want to give you some things that you can actually do at this time, right? We're not making big sweeping changes and change everything about yourself right now. Okay, take it easy. All right. What you guys can start with, again, auditing. Let me get back to where you guys can see the cursor. Auditing the daily routines, tweaking one thing. As an example, that can be like, instead of you scrolling on social media in the morning for 10 minutes, use that 10 minutes to plan some of your day, right? To make a, no. I was going to say make a list. No, don't say that to Virgo. Don't make a list. But use it, okay? Use that time maybe more efficiently. Something you could do to like adjust your environment, right? Because this has a lot to do with your environment down here. Some of you, like for an example, you could declutter, or this could be just like feng shui, like moving your desk near a window. You know what I'm saying? Decluttering your workspace so you can focus more. These are small tweaks that in the long run, because you have Pluto in the sixth house, your day-to-day life is being transformed. New habits do need to form over time. Okay? Now, you have time to work with Pluto, and that's the thing with quincunxes, with these two lines that I was telling you guys about. They're not fixable instantaneously. They're not fixable. So these big sweeping steps are not going to fix them. The quincunxes get worked out over time. Okay? Another thing that you guys can do, mindfulness, right? Body awareness practice. Maybe try 5-minute morning stretches, breathing routines before you go to work to center your energy, to really ground your energy into yourself, right? So you don't get to work, start overworking, start overcompensating, start taking on everybody else's task. And, so those little small steps, Virgo. Let me come to the screen. We're going to do I'm going to get your card for you. Okay. Virgo, you got to let me know how you guys have been feeling too. How are you guys feeling at this time? Do let me know when you see this. All right, Virgo, listen. Okay. Keep your heart open to unexpected possibilities. Oh, I love that. I love that because I don't know. I can't even tell if you guys can see that right now. Okay, yeah. I love that because that's what I think is actually happening for you guys. That's what I think is happening for you guys with that Uranus in the 10th house. Sorry, guys. I got everything on the screen. That is what I think is happening for y'all. Uranus in the 10th could be something very unexpected that prompts you to stop refining yourself. Like, yes, self-improvement, great, great, great. But I think for a lot of you, this Uranus at the top, that square, could really push you into something before you're ready, before you feel perfect, before you feel like you have it all together, So, all right, that's what I have for you, Virgo. I hope you guys have a beautiful new moon. I really do. And this is not the end. We're going to be talking about this, right? That's why I'm like, I have so much to say. There were so many downloads. I'm just like, okay, pace yourself. This is a cycle that is unfolding over time. Like, we will have time. We will have time. All right, Virgo. So, don't feel pressure. All right. Let me get the screen ready for Libra. Not the all lowercase. Okay, there we go. Let's keep some consistency there. Okay, Libra, let me get your chart up. I saved the charts beforehand and everything. Don't forget to hit the like button, guys. It's so helpful. I really appreciate it. All right, Libra, we in there. We are in there. Okay, perfect. Libra, let us commence. All right, let's talk about where the yacht is for you guys, right? We have a different chart here, so things are going to be in a different place for you, okay? Okay, let's find the base. Here we go. Saturn, Neptune, right here in your seventh house of relationships. Great. Okay, and then you have Pluto in the fifth house right here. House of creativity, fun, children, intimacy, sex, dating, creative business and projects, things like that. Leisure, childhood. Okay. So those two planets, excuse me, are working together. Neptune, Saturn, Pluto. Those are working together. That's your base, okay? They are quincunxing, these two lavender lines forming the isosceles triangle. They are quincunxing the new moon, which is happening for you guys in your 12th house, the hidden house. That's what I call it, the hidden house. 12th house is so sneaky, man. We'll talk about it though. And you have the South Node there. I went through that transit and we've kind of been talking about that, Libra, okay? All right, so this is where you're being called. This 12th house stuff is where you're being called. And then let's not forget you have the square to Uranus right here in your ninth house, okay? Because Uranus is in Gemini. Gemini is your ninth house. All right. Now, this is a big focus on kind of like subconscious patterns, spiritual renewing, endings for sure, endings, especially with the South Node in the 12th house. Okay, like I said, I went through that, and this is a lot of hidden inner work. So in a nutshell, Libra, I would say like this yard is showing you guys where, I'm sorry guys, my TV, I got my music playing, ad came on. This yard is really showing you guys like where, again, harmony has been a mask, a facade for self-denial. Okay, you guys are really being asked, you have to stop dimming your needs to keep the peace. You have got to start letting your desires take up some space in this mug, okay? It is about building connections, but connections that are balanced, okay? Because like you have to create connections that are balanced because like they're honest, they're genuine, they're authentic, not because you're like endlessly bending yourself, contorting yourself. I've seen this with Libra. Okay. All right. So again, you have this in your 12th house. It's quiet. Okay. Like that's what I'm saying. Like it's very behind the scenes, this energy. Could also mean that there are things going on behind the scenes for you guys, okay, that deal with other people, because we have the base of this yard in your house of other people. Okay. A lot of your hidden fears, your patterns of maybe even self-sabotage with the South Node there are going to come to the surface. All right. Any inner work that we've been avoiding, or that, you know, again, it can be inner work that you've been avoiding, but again, it can also be things that have been happening behind the scenes. Okay. It's like old karma, like playing in the background. All right. And this is going to play into that Pisces eclipse that we have that's going to come up on September 7th. All right, so Saturn and Neptune in the 7th house, again, it's illuminating relationships, partnerships, but where they are out of alignment, okay? Where are you overgiving, okay? Where have you allowed illusion in these relationships to cloud your judgment? And a lot of times when I see with this configuration, especially with the South Node in the 12th, is that you'll idolize someone. You'll over-idealize someone, or you'll put someone on a pedestal, okay? And usually, a lot of times, that energy right here is the same one that's being sneaky in the 12th house, okay? Listen, Saturn is going to hold you accountable there, where you keep giving your power away and bending where you know something's imbalanced, okay? But you're doing it to keep the peace. You're doing it to preserve your image to people, okay? Saturn's going to really call that out, okay? And Neptune's going to pull the veil back on that. All right, like you're really being forced to see who truly matches your energy and who's draining it. Okay. Um, Pluto. Let's look at Pluto in your fifth house. Okay. This is how you express yourself, joy, creativity, romance. Okay. Anywhere where you're seeking validation through other people's attention is dissolving. Do you see how that goes with this? That over giving, that pretending you don't see people certain ways here. Okay. All right. Just so you don't have to wield this power down here of self expression. Universe can push you into that. Okay. So yes, it's intense. All right. But again, like I said, it's liberating. It can feel chaotic. It can feel intense. It can feel awkward. Okay. With the quincunxes. Um, yeah, you're dismissing any type of guilt that you feel about owning your power. Let's go to Uranus, ninth house. This is squaring the new moon, right? This is probably prompting the action. Okay. This can be like suddenly your beliefs or your long-term vision might actually shift. Okay. This could be through an insight that you have on your own, a conversation, an experience that could really challenge everything that you thought was stable. Okay. And let's see how Uranus connects, right? Uranus is in Gemini, but Uranus is also connected to your fifth house where Pluto is, where you have the base, a part of your base that's helping you here. So whatever insight, whatever comes through here with Uranus is affecting this house as well. Your self-expression, your, I don't know, maybe romantic romance, some type of partnership and romance, or just again, owning that personal power. All right. Um, so remember, these quincunxes, they are demanding like subtle adjustments, right? You have to be able to balance this inner reflection, in the personal transformation that you're going through, okay, with how you merge in relationships. Okay. So let's talk about some things that you guys can do. One relationship dynamic, adjust one relationship dynamic at this time if that is what you're feeling nudged to do. Just a small one, right? Like ask your partner to divide the household chores. Maybe it's something like that. Dividing something more fairly, setting one boundary in a relationship. All right. And that doesn't have to be just romantic, right? Both of your relationship houses are highlighted though, so it could be. All right. Practice like fairness to yourself. You know what I'm saying? Instead of like bending over backwards for people, like say no. Just because like what I've seen a lot with this Libra energy is like just because somebody offers it or says it or suggests it doesn't mean you have to follow it, right? But it's like the little kid in you might come up, um, where you feel like you have to do something. Okay, I'm sorry, I was going through the screens where you feel like I was trying to make sure I was still seeing you guys. Where you feel like you have to do something. Okay, so don't feel like that. I don't know why I'm seeing that. I'm seeing like a little kid, like, oh man, you don't do that. And that's how you could feel sometimes. But see, watch who you're putting on a pedestal. Okay, watch who you're putting on a pedestal. Okay, all right. Yeah, but saying no to just one event and just say no. Don't over explain. That's the thing. Just say no. Nope, can't do it this time, guys. Catch you later. like, another thing I would say for you guys is align like one of your social interactions, like one interaction that you have with your deeper values. This goes in again with what I was just saying, not contorting yourself, right? Like, if your friend believes or has different values than you, not acting like you believe in those values. You get what I'm saying? Really holding firm to yourself and your beliefs. Okay. Individualizing yourself. This is what this feels like, honestly, Libra. Okay. So let me come back. Let me get your card. We're rolling. We in there. All right, Leaps. Of course, I missed your timestamp. Libra, let's get your wild card. Don't forget that the tarot readings are going to come out tomorrow morning with the daily message. It says park your negative thoughts and only work with the positive. So that could be what you're clearing out, honestly, in that 12th house. That could be exactly what you're clearing out in the 12th house. Okay. any of those self-sabotaging thoughts that also are connected to other people and how you relate to them, how you enmesh with them, entangle yourself with them. All right. So that's what I have for you, Libra. Okay. I hope you have a happy new moon. And we're going to keep the conversation going. Okay. This is just the beginning. I'm considering this like the first domino in the eclipse season. So we'll have more talks if you feel like you didn't get everything. All right, Scorpio, let's go. Let me get your chart up. I've been finding the best playlist lately. Here, let me come back. Scorpio, here we go. And in there. Okay. There we go. All right, Scorps, you're up. Let us commence. Oh, let me get your timestamp. At least try. Okay, Scorp. So let's just talk about where you can find this in your chart, right? So you have the base of the yod right here for you guys. Saturn and Neptune retrograding in your 6th house. That's daily routines, right? That's work, like what you do for work, or service, right? We're trying to reframe those words here. Service is what everybody's moving into, hopefully. It's your daily responsibilities. It is your health. It is your health. It is your health, Scorpio. Okay, I just gotta say that. All right. Again, obligations, things like that. So this is part of the base, right? Then you have Pluto in your 4th house. This is also part of the base. They're forming a sextile. So these 3 planets are working together. 6th house, 4th house, working together. They are both quincunxing, or kind of disagreeing or uncomfortably pushing and pointing to the new moon right here. This is the apex of energy. This is where you're focused right here, 11th house. Okay. And then you have the square to Uranus, and that's coming from your 8th house. And keep in mind that Uranus also rules your 4th house. So whatever happens here is directly affecting this. Okay. 4th house energy. All right. So just wanted to help you guys find that and understand what you're looking at. What the heck is a finger of God, and what is it pointing to? Okay. It's pointing right here. So in a nutshell, Scorpio, this is really dragging hidden power dynamics into the light. And it is, it is daring you guys to play small. Like, play small if you want to. Play small to make another person comfortable if you want to, Scorpio. Okay? I'm so serious with y'all right now. Like, this is such a deep call to release old survival patterns and, like, step into the authority. I'm so serious. Step into the authority over your own energy. Okay? Like, you are not here to control life and everybody else's, and be enmeshed in everybody, and have other people dictate what you do and how you do it, and how you connect. Absolutely not. You are here. Scorpios are here to trust their own transformation, because you show us how to do it. You guys show us how to do it like none other. Okay, so the new moon in your 11th house is going to shine a light on these places in communities, your friendships, and your long-term vision. That's the 11th house. It's kind of future oriented because it's naturally ruled by Aquarius. Okay, so with this being the apex, right, the apex of the yod, it's really asking you to, like, really examine, where does your social life truly align with your authentic self, right? And where have you unconsciously sacrificed your needs to maintain harmony in these places, or status? Okay. Oh God, I've been moving through this. I have been moving through this. Scorpio, y'all have to tell me how this has been going for you guys. I've been feeling it. Okay, so you have Saturn and Neptune in the 6th, right? This has been, I know y'all been feeling this. This has been demanding accountability in your daily life, right? Your routines, work obligations, your habits, all under scrutiny. Where are you overextending yourself here? Okay, where is your energy scattered and you're just doing things? Just doing things to fill the time, just doing things to be busy, right? I would say, though, I would say a lot of Scorpios have probably been working on this since Saturn and Neptune have been kind of situated in there, and you've probably been tweaking routines and simplifying your daily life, and like in a way to where you can actually do things to see results eventually, you know, not just scattered energy everywhere. So I would say I think you guys have definitely been leaning into that. All right, but this is definitely a time to discern. It is a time of discernment. You know, like release what no longer serves your energy and focus on what is genuinely supporting your growth forward. Now, when we talk about health, again, a lot of that can deal with is the sixth house. What you're eating every day. Is it giving you fuel? Okay, what you're doing every day. This could be toxic habits as well. Okay, let's look at Pluto in the fourth because we got a long ride with Pluto down here in the bottom of the chart. So you can consider it like the underworld, right, of the chart. This is your domestic home, literally, and your emotions, your emotional foundation. And this is your family. This is your ancestry, the ones who came before you as well. So this is where those old family patterns are surfacing for you guys. It's challenging your sense of security, right? And it's an opportunity for you guys to reclaim power in some type of family dynamics. Something's coming up. You don't have to do it the way they did it, okay? That's what I'm heavily getting for you guys. Yeah, because you are evolving, okay? We'll talk more about that in the later part when I give you some tips on what you can do. Uranus in the eighth house, right, is squaring the new moon. This is the wild card. This is what might prompt the action. Okay. This, for you guys in the eighth house, could bring sudden insights or disruptions regarding shared finances. Okay. Now, if you live with people, Uranus, like I said, directly connects to your fourth house there. There could be something that is asking you to claim some power there. Okay. Anything dealing with intimacy, how you merge with another person. And again, eighth house is power dynamics. It's naturally ruled by Scorpio. So for some of you, what once was like stable could literally shift overnight, right? Now, whether it feels chaotic or liberating, it is freeing you guys to step into more independence and more authentic authority. So say for instance, something that's coming from me, if this is like some type of codependent relationship, that could get shaken up so that you're freed from that, right? Which again, at first could feel destabilizing. Uranus can feel destabilizing, but it is liberating us. All right. Okay. I would say for you, Scorpio, reflect on one area where controlling things blocks your ease and flow. Like for me, even here in this space, like this is something that I've been adjusting, right? And really just kind of flowing with things, right? Sometimes we can get stuck in perfectionism. We're fixed sign, you know? So it's just like letting things flow. And again, when you have that Saturn and Neptune retrograde in the sixth house, really, you know, just kind of helping you sift out the extra fluff in everything. You don't need this. It doesn't need to be like that. We can just do it like this, right? And it's in Aries. Aries is very much like, let's go. Like, we don't got time for all this, you know? So that could be a lot of what you guys are dealing with. So to that, I would say, you know, try to, if you can, I know it's hard for trusting people, maybe try to let someone else kind of drive the plan. You know, maybe instead of micromanaging everything, kind of let something flow, even if it's not somebody else, right? Just kind of letting something flow versus having to have every single detail planned to the T, right? You have the North Node in your fifth house of creative expression, you know, let it flow. Okay, another thing you guys can do, set a private ritual or meditation for yourself, right? Like ritually, you know, where maybe, for example, you light a candle, you journal in a quiet space for 10 minutes every night. You know, start ritualizing your life as well, right? Bringing that spirituality into the sixth house on a daily basis. That's also going to help you lean into that North Node in the fifth house, okay? Last thing I would say for you guys, express honesty in your connections and in your deep connections, okay? There might be something that actually prompts you to tell someone how you feel about maybe some ongoing tension or something, but it's calm, it's clear, like you're steady in it, you're stable in it. Okay, I think this is going to help you guys lean into vulnerability more, which I think you guys could use, and I think that would be helpful for you guys. All right, let's get into your let's get your card. Child, where's my mouse? Okay, here we go. Let's get your card. Confidence can be learned, practiced, and mastered. You got to put it into practice, Scorpio. That's it. This is what you're starting right now, right? Because I told you, we're going to carry this over. This is a bigger story arc, okay? At least that's how I'm framing it, okay? So we're gonna come back at the Pisces lunar eclipse. This is your homework, okay? Consider this Virgo new moon where you're planting the seeds. This is, come on, we in this, okay? Confidence can be learned, practiced, and mastered. It's time to put something into practice. It's enough planning. It's enough talking about it. It's enough conceptualizing about it. It's time to get it moving. Start it up. Start it up, Scorpio. This would be the time. A Virgo new moon at 0 degrees. All right, that is what I have for you guys. Let's get to Sagittarius. Let me get your chart up. See, this is why I gotta have notes, because I talk a lot. I can get so long-winded, man. Okay, here we go. Make sure I get your chart up there right. I don't want to have too many tabs up, child, because then I'll get so confused. Okay, perfect. And okay, Sag, we're gonna go with your nickname today. All right, let's get it. Yes, perfect. Your chart is there, Sag. Here we go. Where you'll find this yod in your chart, if you're a Sag rising, of course, then your chart will possibly look like this, although I use whole sign houses, okay, for broad readings, not for individual readings. Personal readings, I mean. Okay. You got Saturn and Neptune down in the 5th house. This is the base. This is the house of creativity, romance, self-expression, your personal joy, children, your childhood as well. This is forming part of our base. These two planets, Saturn and Neptune, are working with Pluto in your 3rd house, okay? This is the house of communication. It's your neighborhood. It's how you learn, right? Like your learning mind, like think grade school and the things we learn in there, right? Like the logical mind can grasp all the concepts. These are your siblings. Again, neighborhoods, what you do. This can have a lot to do with like what you do on the daily, like commuting and stuff like that. Now, so these 3 planets are working together down here, but they are pointing, they're forming the finger of God, which is pointing here at the new moon, which is taking place in your 10th house, okay? And then we have the square to Uranus, which is in your 7th house of one-on-one relationships. All right, so literally you could get sudden changes, upheavals, realizations, disruptions from other people, quite literally, okay? And because Uranus is also connected to your 3rd house, because your 3rd house is Aquarius and Uranus rules Aquarius, whatever is happening here in the 7th house with these one-on-one relationships directly affects this, okay? Affects this house here. Something about your thoughts, your communication, your commute, your neighborhood, something maybe a sibling, okay? People you work with as well. All right, so let's break it down. In a nutshell, I would say, Sagittarius, that this yard really wants you to break out of autopilot. Okay, really strip away the beliefs that no longer fuel. They don't feel true to you anymore. You know, but you might be holding steady to them. You are really being asked to embody the things that you philosophize about. Okay, not just talk about it. Okay, because I'm a Sag sun, we can do that. Okay, you know, it's realigning. It is realigning because your soul is really demanding, Sagittarius, that you align with a path that feels alive to you, not just looks impressive to other people. Okay, not just so other people can like clap for you. All right, so let's start with the new moon in the 10th house. Obviously, this is the most public house of the chart. It's your career, it's how you show up in the world, it's your purpose too. It has a lot to do with your purpose. So this is asking you to fully step into your authority. Okay, show up as who you truly are, right? Stop hiding yourself. Stop being who other people want you to be. Like, you have to own your authority up here. So you could be very visible. This could be very visible for you guys because it's in the most public house of the chart. All right, then you have Saturn and Neptune down here in the fifth house. Again, this is your creative life, right? Romantic patterns, personal joy and expression. So I would say, like, where have you guys given your power away or like relied too heavily on validation from other people, right? Because when we do that, then we start to change, and the things that people validate us for, like, sometimes we just keep doing it because they like it. So okay, I'm gonna keep doing it, right? Saturn is going to demand accountability from you guys here. Neptune is going to pull back the illusion on that. Okay, so if you have been doing that, you know, seeking validation, just doing things purely for that, Neptune's going to like dispel that illusion. Like, it's time to dissolve that illusion. It's time to really take responsibility for your own fulfillment, your own happiness in this life. All right. You got Pluto in the third, your communication, learning, again, your mindset, your mental frameworks, these old thought patterns or relational dynamics with like your siblings, neighbors. Did I say this is neighbors? Neighborhood, right? This could require some deep rethinking, some deep revision, right? Like, you guys are really reclaiming your power over how you process and express your ideas with people too. Okay. I heard that. That was a channel I heard. You don't have to appear to be the smartest in the room when you just are. You know, your expertise will be needed when it's needed. It'll just show, you know, there's something about that. Gemini got a similar message, and that's your natural opposite or your sister sign. Speaking of Gemini, you have Uranus in the house of Gemini, which is your seventh house of one-on-one relationships. Again, this is sudden disruptions in your partnerships or collaborations. They could feel destabilizing. All right, but again, it is liberating. It's encouraging you to align with people who genuinely support your vision and to let go or be forced to let go of those who don't. Okay? Who don't. This is really trying to align you guys like with your highest potential, like, and guiding you towards more authenticity, authority, and freedom in your public life. You know, I think sometimes when we show up publicly, we think we have to show up a certain way. I fell victim to that too. But yeah, the best thing you could do is just be yourself out there, and that's just all the magnetism you need. I mean, you know, you can't dress that up with fancy words. That's just all the magnetism that you need because you're just fucking awesome. You get me? Like, okay, let's talk about what you could do. So, tweaking one belief, one habit, one routine. Okay, so this could be like challenging your assumption that you got to work late just to be successful. Small thing, but a big, profound change, right? Maybe some of y'all are going to change your workday from an 8-hour workday, 7-hour workday. Maybe you go in from Monday to Thursday. Maybe you work Tuesday to Friday. You get what I'm saying? So you get how like that tweet could look weird to other people. Ooh, Sag doing this, and Sag is, ooh, that's not, right? You see how that could keep you in something like, well, I don't want people to think I'm lazy. I don't want them to think I'm not doing it. I don't want them to think that I'm not motivated. You could literally be put in that position where somebody thinks that. And what are you going to do? Appease them? So this is why I'm saying the quincunxes are uncomfortable. Yes, we are supported, but this is the point of pressure up here. Okay? Some of you guys can engage in maybe an exploratory activity, right? Like maybe you can take a hike, you know, do something different, attend a lecture on a new subject you're curious about. Something that I was thinking about doing in my neighborhood is go to the town hall meeting. I never went to a town hall meeting. I'm like, let me go. I got some concerns. I want to see what they're talking about, you know? So I'm like, hey, I might do that, okay? Some of you guys might adjust a personal commitment that has been limiting your freedom, right? So start delegating, okay? Delegate. If you do, I would say delegate. Start small with a minor task, either at home or at work, so you can really free up your time for your creative pursuits, okay? So let's go ahead and let me come back to the screen so I can get you guys this card. All right, Sag, let's get your card. Preparation is always key to success. Dope. Preparation is always key to success. I feel like you guys have prepared though. Like, I feel like you guys are prepped. I don't know why, but I feel like you guys are prepped. All right. Okay, we shall commence again. Don't forget, Sagittarius, your tarot reading is going to come out tomorrow morning with the daily message. So make sure you stay tuned for that, okay? All right, let's get everything set up for Cappy. Capricorn, let me get your chart up real quick. And then y'all gotta give me a quick second. I gotta go do something real quick. Who's this? Oh, okay. I'm like, I know I got your chart ready. Okay, Capricorn. Give me 1 second, loves, and I'll be right back. All right, guys. Thank you for your patience. All right. Let's get set up. Well, actually, we're already set up for Capricorn. Let me get some water. Whew. All right, guys. Thank you so much for your patience. And let's get Cappy's timestamp and let's go. Wow, really? Oh my gosh. Okay. Capricorn, let us talk. So Capricorn, here we go. You have the base of your yod here, right? You have Saturn and Neptune in the 4th house. Home, family, is your ancestors as well. It's your emotional feelings, the depths of your emotion, because it's the bottom of the chart. Okay, that's in the sextile to Pluto. This is the other part of our base. So these are the supporting factors. These 3 planets here, Neptune, Saturn, Pluto. Pluto's in your 2nd house of value, your assets, your self-worth, your confidence, how you feel about yourself. They are both, or all 3, forming a quincunx. This is the finger of God that people have been talking about, the yod, and is pointing to the new moon right here in your 9th house. This is the point of change. This is where we are to heed the call. All right. So that new moon's happening in your 11th house. Excuse me, 9th house. The hell am I talking about? Okay. If I could put this in a nutshell for you guys, I would say that you guys have been building a life on responsibility. And I think the yod is really asking you, responsible to whom? Okay. Like, you guys are being called to really loosen your grip. Let go of the image of who you think you're supposed to be, Capricorn, okay? This is really about learning that true power is going to come from your authenticity, not your ability to control everything, Okay. So with this happening in your ninth house, this is shining a light on your beliefs. This could be higher learning as well, like think college, after high school stuff. Um, Travel, long distance travel to be specific, and any type of like philosophies that you have, your philosophical framework that shape how you see the world. So those things that tell you that you have to be a certain way or show up in the world a certain way, right? Um, so it's not just asking you to examine what you believe, but why. Like, why are these your beliefs? Why have these been your truths? Why have this been the driving force of how you've built your life or created your life, and whether they are still aligned with the person you're becoming? Okay, so that's the gist of this. Now, how to work with your base planets, or what your base planets are doing first, rather. We'll save that last part for the end. Saturn, Neptune in the fourth, they are retrograde. Keep that in mind. Pluto is also retrograde in the second house. Deep transformation in your foundations. This is on the internal and external, because you have the fourth house and the second house. Second house is external. Old patterns in your family, old patterns in your home, in your emotional life are all coming up for review. So it's like, where have you been carrying responsibilities that were not yours there? Okay. Where are these illusions or wishful thinkings that have kept you tethered? Remember, that's been my word, tethered to outdated structures. Because this is like trying to integrate like your spiritual discernment with some practical action. Okay. It's really asking you to like transform the roots that just they don't nourish your growth anymore, and it's down here. Like some of these, these things are supporting you in changing like these beliefs. Okay? These broader beliefs. All right, so let's talk about the square to Uranus that's happening in your sixth house. This is bringing like a little spark of unpredictability, right? And I do want to note Uranus also rules your second house. So whatever happens in this day to day, whatever unexpected change here is affecting this, okay? So I would say expect some sudden insights, disruptions, especially around work. Sixth house is what we do every day. It's health or in your daily responsibilities. These are not random. They might feel like it. But again, they're going to be a catalyst for liberation. So you might find yourself rethinking how you serve, how you show up in these spaces, how you organize your time, how you maintain your well-being on a day-to-day basis, right? So Capricorn, like this, I think this has been powerful for Pluto to be going through your second house, like really working on your self-worth. Okay. Some things you guys can do: refine a micro action toward a long-term goal. So it's like, instead of rewriting the whole business plan, update like a section on your website. Update key sections with like small new ideas, small new innovative things. This is not a big sweep of the business and changing everything. This is not that energy. Okay, quincunxes do not support that. Quincunxes support change over time. Okay. Another thing you guys can do: adjust your daily routine. That's here, sixth house, adjusting your daily routine. So something about Uranus here is prompting that, is going to square this new moon to push you into doing that. Okay, to push you into changing something in the daily routine, right? So for some of you, this could be that it could be as simple as like prepping food ahead of time. You know what I'm saying? Meal prep for the week, right? Which could help give you like, I don't know, different, more time, more freedom, right? This is what we're doing. We're trying to clear. Because Pisces lunar eclipse is going to do that. All right. It's going to do that for us. And that's going to be happening here for you guys. Just a little foreshadow. Last thing I have for you guys: release a rigid habit or like an expectation that you have, right? Allow yourself to arrive, like, I don't know. Listen, I might get some flack for saying this. Arrive like 10 minutes late or something. Just instead of forcing perfection in some area of your life, like just allow yourself to kind of loosen your grip a little bit. That's what I would say. Something small, right? So that's why I said something small, like get there 10 minutes late. Like you're stressed out, something, you gotta get there. Oh my God, I gotta get there. It's 1 minute left. Like get there 5 minutes late, Capricorn. You get what I'm saying? All right. So these small steps are going to really help your nervous system and really help get us prepared for the rest of eclipse season. Okay. Let's get your card. You have consider the advice of a friend, but make your own decision. Exactly. Because a lot of what you are rewiring is other people's beliefs in your life and how big of a role they play and like expectations and stuff. Okay. All right, Cappy. I think we're going to wrap it there for you. That's what I have for you. Let's go ahead and let's get it ready for Aquarius. Let's go. We in there. Aqua. Let me get your chart up, Aquarius. No, Aquarius. I am hearing, I wish I could play the song right now. But I'm already kind of moving slow. I'm hearing Phil Collins. I can hear it calling in the air tonight. Hold on, hold on. Oh, that makes so much sense because the eclipse is happening in your, the eclipse. Well, actually, you guys are gonna have an eclipse in your 8th house, but the first one, the new moon that we're talking about today, is happening there too, but at the 0 degree. So I don't know. Maybe that song is like a theme throughout this eclipse season. I don't know. But every time I get that song, it's like anticipatory. Like, what is it? Right? And the 8th house is very like mysterious. It's the house of Scorpio. Okay, we in there. Let's go. Aquarius, let's talk about how you can find this yacht in your chart. So you have Saturn and Neptune down here forming part of your base, right? Our base in this configuration is something that is supportive. So that's in your 3rd house, right? Of Aries. This is your siblings, your neighborhood, your neighbors, your daily commute, can include work as well. It's your learning mind, okay? Then you have Pluto in the 1st house, house of you. Right? Like, do we need to say more? In the house of you, these 3 planets are working together through a sextile, right? So it's kind of passive, right? You have these 3 planets forming quincunxes, right? Not seeing eye to eye, super uncomfortable with the new moon and the sun right here in Virgo. This is the finger of God. This point of the triangle right there. This is where we focus. Now, we also have the square to Uranus, which is probably going to prompt some action to this new moon. This is the action, Uranus. These are the supporters. This is the focus of, this is what is needing to change. This is going to help it through action. This is going to help it through subtle support. Okay. So, in a nutshell, I would say, this yard, this finger of God is really shaking up, obviously, your communities and affiliations and your friendships, right? Because Uranus is in the 5th house. So yeah, the things, the people you're part of is pushing you to ask who actually sees the real you, Aquarius. Okay? I feel that for you guys. I've been seeing some things for you guys, okay? It's not enough, Aquarius, anymore to just belong to a group. I don't care about loyalties. I don't care about how long it's been. Mind you, the 5th house can be childhood friends. Okay. Your soul, it is yearning for connection that resonates with you. All right. You guys are really being asked to stop hiding behind like ideas, right? This is what the 3rd house is helping you with. All these ideas and perfect plan, and I gotta sound this way and I gotta show up this way, and just start leading with your heart. So something about Uranus in the 5th house, because the 5th house is the heart, because the 5th house is the natural house of Leo, who rules the heart. Something here could really prompt you to drop the curated look, drop the curated ideas, the curated image, the curated place in a group or a community. All right, but let's start with the new moon. Okay. In the 8th house, again, it's going to bring intense focus to anything shared. Okay. Any shared resources you have with people, any of your intimate bonds, and any of the deep undercurrents in those things, okay? And the deep undercurrents of transformation within your own life. So it's like you have to confront where power and control and trust, both intersect, like in your inner world and your outer world, right? Because that's the eighth house, it merges those. So it's not a time for superficial fixes. This is what I'm saying. Like, this is a moment of profound alignment, soul level insight. Okay. So that's what I'm saying. Like, it can't be fixed with like another Virgo plan and like, um, this yod has to truly be felt. Like, it has to be embodied. We can't we're past the point of conceptualizing and theorizing about it, right? So Saturn and Neptune in the third house, and along with Pluto, because they're working together, it's going to pull you inward. Okay, your thoughts, your thought patterns, your communication habits, how you process information on a daily basis, right? Then Pluto in the first house, this is literally your personal power. Like, this is your personal power. Like, are you guys speaking and acting in alignment with your highest truth? Okay. Neptune is really asking you guys to also have some type of discernment, okay, with like illusions or misperceptions that are really clouding your understanding of either yourself or others or both, right? Like, not seeing people clearly, not seeing yourself clearly. So you are allowing yourself to be connected to people who just reinforce that. You get what I'm saying? All right. So let's talk about Uranus, the last little factor I want to touch on. That's in your fifth house, right? So, and it's squaring the new moon. Again, this is sudden awakenings that could arise in your romantic dynamics, your self-expression. So again, because Uranus rules your first house, it could very much be you, like wielding some type of power, breaking out of some type of even codependencies in your relationships. It could really shake up like how you engage with your passions, right? Instead of constantly overthinking about them, like really leaning into them. Again, like leading with your heart. All right. So, lean into flexibility here. Lean into innovation with anything that you're doing in fifth house matters. Creative hobbies, romance, anything. Lean into innovation there. Allow innovation to really guide you forward there, okay? All right, so couple things. I'll give you three things. You can observe one thought pattern or social habit and then tweak it. Just one. Just start with one, right? Like, notice how often you might scroll on social media out of habit, and swap it out. Swap it out for a more mindful habit. Brainstorm something for this fifth house, for your creativity, okay? Do something here with that, perhaps. Another thing I would say is like experiment with like a small act of innovation, right? Like, I don't know, you could test out like a new software, Uranus and Gemini, that has to do with like your creativity or something, or you could test it out at work, right? You could test it out at work. The third house could be that as well. Third house is also software, it's internet, it's technology. The last thing I would say here is connect with one like-minded person, even if it's just one. Okay, nobody's asking you to make big sweeping changes. Try to connect with the whole collective. Like, no, this is more intimate. So this could be you reaching out to a colleague or somebody reaching out to you, a friend who really inspires you, and you might discuss ideas, you might discuss collaborations, okay? So start with those very small changes, Aquarius, okay? And we're gonna build upon that. So y'all make sure y'all come back. Y'all make sure y'all meet me here for the Pisces lunar eclipse. All right, let's get your card. Okay. Press pause to reflect on what you've learned. Yeah. The universe might literally do that, might slow something down, or I'm getting that more so in like slowing you down so you speak from your heart. You start speaking from your heart and not just your logical mind. Okay, Aquarius. So that's what I have for you guys. Let me come back. Okay, yeah, that's what I have for you guys. All right, happy new moon. Don't forget, we will commence yet again at the Pisces lunar eclipse, okay? Make sure you hit the like button when you see this, Aquarius. Okay, let's get it ready for Pisceans. Pisces, let me get chart. All right, I think we are in there. Yep. Okay. Pisceans. All right. Let's talk about where you can find the yod for you. Okay. You have Saturn and Neptune in your second house. This is forming part of our base. Sextiling Pluto in the 12th house. That's the other part of our base. Okay. Both of those are forming a quincunx, which is forming an isosceles triangle. That is the finger of God, is pointing at the new moon, which is happening in your seventh house. So this is your opposite sign in Pisces. We're going to have, like I said, the lunar eclipse in your sign on September 7th. Okay, so this is actually very important for you. Okay, also you have a square to Uranus here in the fourth house, right? And note that Uranus also rules your 12th house. Okay, so whatever happens here affects here. Okay, in a nutshell, Pisces, this is peeling back illusions. It's asking you to anchor your dreams into reality, period. Okay, you're learning that compassion doesn't mean sacrificing yourself all the time, and spirituality does not mean spiritual bypassing or escapism. Okay, so it's really about building a life that can hold both magic but also boundaries for you. Okay, the Virgo new moon in the seventh house, let's start there. Just gonna touch a little bit on all those points I just said. This is the spotlight. It's on your partnerships, one-on-one connections, how you navigate this balance of give and take in these one-on-one connections. And with this being the apex, the universe is really compelling y'all to examine like the integrity, alignment and authenticity of your relationships. Like, is it there? It's not a time to be making superficial compromises in your relationships. This is why I was telling you guys about the niceties. It's time to drop all of that, the pleasantries, and it's just, we just have to be authentic. We have to be real with these nudges and understanding that it can feel awkward. Okay, I'm validating you in that. It can feel awkward, it can feel uncomfortable, but that doesn't mean we cower to the old. All right, your heart, your soul is, they want connections that align with you, okay, and that really serve your growth. All right. No, wait a minute, I'm sorry guys, my notes, I have my notes over here to the side. They are doing weird things. Almost there. Almost there. Yes. There we go. Okay. This is what I was trying to get to. Saturn and Neptune. All right. Right here, okay? And remember, you have Pluto in your 12th house. This everything, Pluto's definitely working beneath the surface, right? In the 12th house. This is internal recalibration. Saturn is calling for responsibility and structure when it comes to your resources, your self-worth, what you value. All right. Hold on, let me just do it this way. I got a trick here. Perfect. Okay. There we go. All right, Uranus. Let's talk about Uranus, because Uranus is squaring it and it's going to like prompt some action. Okay. This is like sudden awakenings in the home. Literally, it could be in your home. It could be within your family. It could be within your own emotions. Something is stirred up or triggered. And it's going to disrupt the familiar. It's going to push you to embrace freedom, authenticity, your personal sovereignty within your domestic life and within your emotions. Okay. I don't know why I'm hearing I won't be pushed around. So I don't know. All right, let's see what you guys can do. I would say tune into one overlooked inner feeling, right? So, any type of jealousy that you feel, irritation within relationships, try to get to the bottom of that. Don't just let that be a thing like, oh, that's just how it is. Like, really get to the bottom of that. Why is that surfacing? Why is that there? What triggered it to begin with? What does it remind you of? Was it from childhood? Another thing, adjust one habitual stress response. So, if you would usually ruminate over an email, you know, um, maybe try replacing that with like 5 minutes of breathing. Try to move your body instead of just sitting there being frantic or getting stuck in freeze mode. Okay? Another thing I would say for you guys, release one attachment that is clouding your clarity, right? So this could be, oh yeah, this could be like letting go of checking people's social media, right? Checking your friends' social media, comparing yourself to others, like, and really notice like what mental space that opens up for you. All right, Pisceans. So start there. Remember, these are small steps, not big sweeping changes. Check back in with me with the Pisces lunar eclipse. All right, let's get your card. Oh, you got this too. Confidence can be learned, practiced, and mastered. Confidence can be learned, practiced, and mastered. Okay, and this could be within your relationships. That's why I said, like, if those feelings come up, don't just say that's just the way I am. I'm just a jealous person. Like, no, that is connected to insecurity, and confidence is like the counter to that. You know what I'm saying? So, really try to work with these small changes at this time, all right, Pisces, because you're going to be helping us do the emotional clearing when it comes time for the blood moon eclipse in your sign. All right, that's what I have for you guys. Let's go ahead and get Aries up here. I'm always kind of like, do I want to do here, let me get the chart up first. I'm always like, it's weird going live on, or it's different rather on like straight from like a platform. Like I'm on OBS. I'm using OBS. And when you go on mobile, the algorithm will push you. Like as soon as you go live, like it's a huge push. It's very weird when you go live like from a platform or just like from your desktop or something like that. So that's something that I've been like just observing. So anyways, all right, Aries. Let's get you up here. Perfect. Okay. Get your thing up so you can see the cursor. All right, Aries, let's find the yod for you guys. Right here, you have Saturn and Neptune in your first house. So part of the supportive base is you. Okay. And then you have Pluto right here in your 11th house. These are sextiling. So these planets are working together. They are forming a quincunx, right? Or they're applying pressure. They don't see eye to eye with this right here, new moon. So they're working together to help you create change at the apex of the finger of God, which is here in your 6th house. That is where you're having the Virgo new moon. And then you have Uranus here, which is creating the action point through spontaneity, unexpected things, squaring this new moon. Also note that Uranus rules your 11th house. So whatever happens here directly affects this house too. Okay. Now, in a nutshell, I would say that life has definitely been pushing you guys into a lot of rooms you didn't expect. I would say it's asking you to kind of step into connection that feels faded, you know? Yeah. The yard is like calling y'all to slow down just enough to recognize like which alliances are soul contracts and which are like distractions at this point in time and moving forward. So it's not about proving your independence, you know. It's like it's about letting your courage build bridges instead of walls, right? So it's not about like, I can do it all, I can do it all. It's just about being aligned with those who you share a soul contract with. Okay, not people who are just there for a good time. Right? Okay. Um okay. So you're in the 6th house. This is where it's happening for you. That's your daily habits, routines. It can be work. It's definitely health. It's your environment. And it's the structure of just how you service the world, you know? Whatever form that is. You're really being asked to refine this delicate balance between self-discipline and intuitive insight, right? So you might feel this subtle but very insistent call to start to realign your daily life with the highest expression of your purpose, not just autopilot stuff, not just busy work, okay? Not just taking on every opportunity, everything that lands on your desk. The base of the yard, like we were talking about here, Saturn, Neptune, Pluto in the 11th. How are you showing up in the world? You know, where have old habits of self-limitations really held you back? Okay. Neptune's going to call for accountability from you. Okay. It's going to call for accountability. I think when Saturn and Neptune go back into your 12th house, I think it'll start to make more sense to what cannot be dragged from the past back into the first house when they leave retrograde and come back into Aries. All right. So Pluto is also helping you guys to release connections that are no longer supporting your evolution. We have some time to work with Pluto though, but it's definitely helping in this configuration. Okay. Yeah, these things are unavoidable. That's another thing that I want to say with the yod configuration, the changes that we're being asked to make, they're unavoidable. Okay, because the quincunx feels so uncomfortable. We like, oh shit, like I gotta do something. You know, I gotta make something. I gotta make some kind of change. All right, now Uranus in the 3rd house, right? Again, the 3rd house, this is the most natural house for like Gemini, because Gemini naturally rules the 3rd house. You have the blueprint chart, Aries. So the 3rd house is your communication, your thought patterns, your immediate surroundings, your neighbors, neighborhood, your commutes, unexpected information, breakthroughs, changes in your environment. This is going to be what prompts change here. Okay, so something that's going on here in your mind, in literally your environment, maybe a car, right? Because the 3rd house is commute, is directly like changing this here and here. Okay, in the 11th house. So maybe how you fit into groups, your longer term vision for your life is the 11th house as well. Excuse me. All right. So some things that you guys can do. Journal about authenticity versus expectation. So for example, writing about feeling pressured to stay in a toxic work environment versus your real desire to pivot, you know? Then listing small steps you could take to start shifting. Okay? Adjusting one habit or routine. Okay. Instead of like checking emails first thing in the morning, maybe you spend 10 minutes planning your priorities. You know, maybe you spend 10 minutes, I don't know, mapping out a bigger vision for the day. Okay. A more creative vision for the day, a more flowy vision for the day. Another thing, set a micro boundary, one micro boundary, just one at this time. Okay. If it feels too overwhelming and uncomfortable and awkward, just one, just a small thing. Politely decline like an extra social or work obligation that like drains your energy, so you can have time to actually honor your own goals in private. Okay, so let's get your card. Aries. I'm sorry, I'm still getting used to streaming from the platform. Park your negative thoughts and only work with the positive, Aries. That's literally, yeah. And that's what I think. I think Saturn and Neptune, when they retrograde back into your 12th house, this is going to help with this as well. Park your negative thoughts and only work with the positive. All right. That is what I have for you, Aries. Check back. Tomorrow, your tarot reading will be posted for the Virgo new moon. And we'll be back here at the Pisces lunar eclipse. Okay, this is a bigger, larger story arc. So I am just giving small steps at this one. These are not big life sweeping changes at this time. The energy supports small, detailed adjustments and refinements. Okay, so keep that in mind. All right, Taurus, let's go. Okay, the bull, the bull. I'm so silly, y'all. Let me grab another water out of here. Okay. Okay, Taurus. Let's find the yod for you guys. Girl, what are we doing? Okay, here we go. All right. So you have Saturn and Neptune right here in your 12th house. Okay. The hidden house, behind the scenes. Okay. So this is part of our support. Okay. Saturn and Neptune retrograde right here. They are connected through a sextile to Pluto up here at the top of your chart, the most public part of your chart. This is also a part of our support. These supportive guys working together are forming a quincunx, which is just a 150-degree angle. So it's forming a isosceles triangle. And a quincunx is just like, in layman's terms, not seeing eye to eye. It's awkward, it's uncomfortable, it doesn't fit. Okay, and so you can see that these two are forming the finger of God, the apex of the yod, which is the new moon. And that's taking place in your 5th house. It's a pretty fun house. Okay. And then you have the square to Uranus. Uranus is in your 2nd house. This is the action point. These are our supporters. This is the focal point. This is what is prompting sudden change, sudden action that will help you work with these planets and change whatever is being called of us here. Okay, so I hope I explained that right or thoroughly for all of you guys, because it really meant a lot to me to explain it and just understand what we're looking at, right? These words sound so cool and stuff, but just to understand what we're looking at and how to actually work with it in our lives, you know, like, because what is it for if we can't? All right, now, in a nutshell, Taurus, I would say, like, you guys have really been walking a tightrope between comfort and your calling. Yes, I'm calling you out on it. Okay, don't worry, I was called out too. Okay. This yard is like really cracking open your routines. Okay, it's asking you to stop clinging to stability at the expense of your own voice. Okay, so you're stifling yourself in a sense. You know, you're being asked to speak your truth even when it shakes the ground beneath you, even when your voice shakes, even when you're uncertain, even when your voice quivers, right? Because your soul is ready for movement. Yeah, it's ready for movement and it's kind of fed up in stagnation. That's what I get with this in a nutshell. Okay, now let's break it down a bit, starting with the actual new moon in the 5th house. You know, the 5th house is like the house of creativity. It's your personal expression. It's romance, right? It's playful. It's the deeper joys that spark our soul. It's Leo, right? It's from the heart, genuinely. So it's like you have to realign with what genuinely nourishes your heart and awakens that inner vitality, that true deep joy. You know, examine where you have been compromising your creative self or holding back in matters of joy, play, and authentic expression. Okay, at the demand of others. Okay. All right, let's talk about Saturn, Neptune. Okay, Pluto, all here working together in the base through sextiles. These are like, again, it's going to bring your attention to self-imposed limitations, I think, that have kept you small, kept your light dimmed. Okay, and a lot of it is hidden, like you can't see it, right? Because it's in the 12th house. Okay, the hidden house. It can kind of just I don't know. The 12th house is just weird. I've had so many transits. They're just so weird. It's just weird house. It's a weird house. Okay, Pluto in the 10th house. Again, remember, this is the most public house of our chart, whereas this down here is most private part of our chart, where people don't see, people see this. Okay, so this is transformation. This is in your career. This is in your public image. Okay, this is your life direction as well, your purpose. You are gonna have to merge the inner authenticity, okay, with the way you show up here. And so we need your voice right here. This is what you're being we need your voice, okay, so that you show up more authentically up here. So that's kind of what this is saying. We need your voice. We need your genuine expression, your playfulness, okay? So we need you to be less rigid, all right? And then Uranus in the 2nd house right here. This is your finances. It's your stuff, your resources, your self-worth. And it's Uranus. So unexpected disruptions, insights around these things that I would say are going to push you more towards independence. Uranus in the 2nd house is liberating, right? And probably some like innovation and like how you value yourself, innovation in your talents as well, because we're talking about this connecting to the 5th house. This is square in the 5th house. So innovation when it comes to your talents, your creativity, how you express yourself. Keep in mind, Uranus also rules the 10th house up here. So whatever disruption or upheaval or sudden thing that happens here affects how you show up. It helps. It prompts action up here. All right. So let's talk about some things you can do. I would take inventory of finances, your possessions, your daily routines and things. So this could look like going through your pantry, tossing the items that are expired, and in a broader sense, just noticing what you truly need versus what's excess. Okay, that can be in anything. I just use the pantry as an example. It could be your closet. That could be, it's just the things that are yours. Okay. Grounding practices. Perhaps some of you might eat lunch outside. Go outside, walk barefoot on the ground, in the grass. Okay, not the asphalt, in the grass. Without your phone, okay, without distraction. And this is an effort to get you to reconnect to your body, okay? Remember, these small steps, I know they might not seem like much right now. We're going to come back to these at the last eclipse, and you're going to be ready to fully embody them. And by that time, you'll see why these small steps had to be taken, why they were so important and potent. Last thing, release one attachment to comfort, because that's a big one for y'all. That's pretty much what this is saying. Okay, like try something small. Remember, we're starting small. At the next new moon, we're gonna be ready for the big shit. Okay, we're gonna be ready for the big ones. Maybe try a new grocery store. Try something new in your neighborhood. Try a new food instead of just sticking only to familiar routines. You see what I'm saying? This is helping you expand your comfort zone in a gentle way. Okay, I'm gonna try sushi for the first time. Something small versus like, I'm gonna try this big creative project that start small here. Okay, so let's get your cards. Get back to the screen. Let's get your card. Oh, dang, I didn't see your message, T. You took it away. All right. Taurus. Confidence can be learned, practiced, and mastered. It's a lot of this. This one, and it's another one that like keeps coming out, but this confidence can be learned, practiced, and mastered. It's a lot of, okay, y'all, it's time to take the first step. It's time to embody. It's not time for another plan, another putting it off, another staying small, it's time to step into things. Like that is just what I'm getting. I'm learning so much, even just through you guys' readings, just seeing these messages be reiterated like this and these themes that are weaving through the readings. Like, it's time. Like, it's crazy. Oh my God. All right, Gemini, let me get your chart up. I told y'all I get very excited about these things. I oftentimes get activated by my own like words when I speak. Like I just, yeah. Anyways, okay. Gemini. I'm hearing that. Is that now I know I see straight. Is that's not half crazy? I can't think of the name of it. But I'm hearing that. Gemini, I don't know why, but it came out in your reading. All right. Here we go. Gemini Z. Let's talk about where you can find this, right? Okay. Let's talk about our base. So we have Saturn and Neptune in your 11th house, friends, communities, the future. And that is sextiling Pluto in your 9th house. Excuse me. Of higher education. I call the 9th house the God house. The philosopher's house is naturally ruled by Sag. Anyway, these three planets are working together. These are our support systems during this time in this yod. They are forming quincunxes, 150-degree angle to the new moon. So this is the finger of God. If you've been hearing that, this is the yod. It's pointing right here, down at the 4th house, the most private part of your chart. This is your mother. This is your emotions. This is your actual domestic home. This is your ancestors as well. This is what came before you, the patterns, excuse me, and generational foundations that came before you. So this is where change is being prompted, where you're being pulled to change something here, to really step into something here, to really embody something here. We're getting a little bit of pressure from Uranus because Uranus is squaring this new moon. Okay, so support here with these planets, focal point of change, action that will help you execute this change, and it is supported action. Okay, to note, Uranus also rules your 9th house. So whatever does happen here, Uranus is in the sign of you. Yes, whatever you do or whatever happens here affects here. Okay, so Gemini, what I would say is like it's not enough to just keep gathering pieces of information or keep scattering yourself in all these different directions. Like the yard really wants you guys to pick a truth. Okay? Live it. Pour your energy into something that actually feeds you. Right? Because there's a lot of scattered energy is what I'm seeing, or that's what you've been dealing with. This is trying to show you how to hone in to that thing that really aligns with you. Okay? Because you're not here to like skim the surface anymore. Like you're done with that. Okay, like it's time to go ahead and root into your wisdom. Okay, root into that wisdom so it can go ahead and transform you from the inside out. All right, so let's start with the new moon in the 4th house. This is where it's happening. Like I told you, it's the most private part of your chart. You're gonna have to realign your sense of security, okay, and personal sanctuary, because this is your personal sanctuary. Okay, both literally and metaphorically speaking, symbolically, your emotions, your emotional anchor. Okay, really align it with your highest purpose, love. You know, like this is a moment to examine like where your emotional roots, where family patterns, your living environment, it's out of harmony with who you are becoming. Okay, out of alignment, and we don't want it. We don't want you out of alignment. Okay, especially because Uranus, listen to me calling you Uranus, but you are the wow factor, Gemini. So we got to watch out for you. Okay? I'm joking. All right, but we have Saturn and Neptune, right? Here, Pluto here. So again, they're working together. So I kind of want to talk about them together. Where has idealism, confusion, has kind of led you astray, right? Or led you away from like your authentic connection or truth. Okay? So this could also be like idealizing structures that don't support you, right? But it looks good, it looks shiny. That was a lot of what that Mercury retrograde in Leo was about too, okay? Pluto right here is reshaping your belief systems, your philosophy on life itself, right? Your purpose as well. It has a lot to do with your purpose, although the north and the north node is in your house of purpose. So you see, everything's working together. Nothing's coincidence. Everything in your chart is working together. I know we're not talking about everything because I would be here all day because I'm long-winded. So I just chose to focus on the yod and the square to Uranus, which I feel is super important during this time, as is everything else. Okay. But I think, you know, a lot of this, Gemini, is like, you know it. You know the thing. You know the thing. It's not nothing else you have to research. It's not anything else you have to prove. It's just time to embody your wisdom. It's time to live it. Okay? Let's talk about the square. You have Uranus in the house of you, but it also rules your ninth house. Unexpected events, insights, revelations that are going to disrupt the familiar patterns of things. Okay? But these will be opportunities to embrace, like, more authenticity in you. Like, literally, the Uranus is in your sign of who you are, okay, and like how you show up to us in the world. Okay. All right, some things you can do. Notice the mental clutter. Okay, notice what's going on in your brain. Okay, tweak one recurring thought, just one. I'm not asking you to go do the Nikola Tesla 369 method, and just one. Okay, catch yourself ruminating, okay, about being judged or criticized. Replace it with something grounding, like maybe a mantra. I am allowed to speak my truth. I am safe to speak my truth. Okay, just catch that one thought, that one thought. Okay, we're not asking you to rewire your whole being right now. Okay, small steps versus sweeping steps during this Virgo calibration, this Virgo lunar cycle. Engage in intentional conversations, right? Like, for example, call a friend to like just genuinely ask how they're doing, rather than like small talk, and like really listen, really engage in the conversation. Okay. And the last thing I would say that would help you guys is limit your multitasking. I think this is asking you to kind of dead that. Like, you got to hone in. Okay. Dedicate like 30 minutes solely to just like writing a blog post, or, whatever you do, organizing your inbox, and completing it fully before moving on. So not leaving tasks undone. Okay. And you will do that if you are constantly multitasking. You see? All right. You're not, your focus is not there. All right. So let's go ahead and get your card. Let's get your card. Okay, T. See the hands. All right. Oh, I like it. All right, we get something different for the Geminis. It says, don't let past events color your vision of your future. Love it. And I think, let me go to your chart. Yes, I feel like that's what a lot of you guys could have been ruminating on, right? Like past stuff. Holding on to certain things. Like, this is like a really big, I would say it's a dump, like a mental dump as well. Yeah, an emotional dump too, which you're gonna really lean into once we get to that Pisces lunar eclipse on the 7th. That's gonna happen in your most public house, whereas this is happening in your most private house down at the bottom of the chart. All right, so we're going to see an inversion at that time. Make sure you come back. Remember, these are just the beginning steps. This is just the first domino to fall. This is a ripple effect, okay? And this is a larger story arc. All right, Gemini, so that's what I have for you guys. I do appreciate you. All right, don't forget to hit the like button. I know a lot of you are catching the playback. I do appreciate that. All right, Cancerians. Hold on real quick. Got a message. All right, Cancerians, let's get your chart up. All right, cool. We're in there, Cancerians. Okay. Get my notes. All right, Cancer, let's find the yod for you guys, or the finger of God. So you have Saturn and Neptune right here in your 10th house, most public house in your chart. It's your career, how people see you, how you put yourself out there, your purpose. You have Pluto right here in the 8th house of shared finances, debts, entanglements, enmeshments, OPP, okay? Other people's property. All right, this is, they are working together, okay, through a sextile. So these are our support systems. I'm circling the North Node in it, but it's just these three right now, okay? These are your support systems. They are forming a quincunx, or they don't see eye to eye, so therefore they're applying awkward and uncomfortable pressure to the new moon, which is your 3rd house. This is where it's taking place for you, okay? And then you have the square to Uranus coming from your 12th house, squaring this new moon. This is action. This is unexpected things, prompting action, supported action from our base planets, all to help us change the apex of the yod, which is this, okay? So in a nutshell, Cancer, oh, and just want to note, Uranus also rules your 8th house. Whatever happens here affects here, okay? So in a nutshell, I would say it's unearthing a lot of family stuff, a lot of belonging, emotional safety, and what it really means to you. Not what you were told they should mean, okay? It's going to ask you to release roles that really have kind of smothered your soul. That's what I would say. I've seen this for you guys. It's kind of smothered your soul, and like really step into a power that it doesn't need permission. You know, some of you are waiting for like family permission, or you've been living under that, I don't know, scrutinous eye of like family or something like that. I think a lot of you, your heart is ready to stop protecting everyone else at your own expense. And so, let me just key into that right now. And so, because your heart's ready for that, because your higher self is ready for that, Uranus could prompt something that maybe forces you to stop doing that, to stop protecting everybody else, or stop overcompensating for everyone else, or stop trying to overmanage other people. Okay, especially if you can't control them, all right, because Uranus rules your 8th house of other people's stuff. Okay, so let's get into it. You got the Virgo new moon. It's in the 3rd house. That is the house of communication, your neighborhood, your siblings too. Okay, so keep that in mind. It's your siblings. You're gonna have to realign how you express your mind, how you process information, how you connect with your immediate like surroundings and the people in them, right? Like there's like this sense that it's an old communication pattern, or like these familiar ways of thinking that they're not going to serve you on your higher path moving forward. Okay, so Saturn, Neptune, and Pluto are also supporting us in adjustments, helping us to kind of get this together right here. And I would actually say like Saturn's kind of challenging you to structure your career and stuff in a way that aligns with your long-term ambitions, right? So like with clarity and responsibility, whereas Neptune is kind of softening and dissolving these illusions around your public persona and like these expectations you feel from authority figures, or authority figures can also be like parents and like family stuff, okay? Like elders, okay? Again, you got Pluto in the 8th house. I mean, Pluto's comfortable there because it's the house of Scorpio. It loves it there. But it is a deep house. Okay, it's intimate, it's psychological, you know, and it's really pushing you to release like what is no longer empowering you, you know, and you got to start to embrace like the transformational insight that's coming from there. Okay. Uranus, let's touch on Uranus real quick. Uranus in the 12th, the hidden house. Oh, how we love it. This could be dreams though too. You guys can have some very powerful dreams that are triggering something, okay, like super powerful. I would not sleep on my dreams at this time if I were a Cancer, no pun intended. Okay, but this could also be like hidden patterns that's coming up, suppress emotions. See, And see, the suppressed emotions tie into you over managing everybody else. You see, because deep down, your higher self doesn't want to do that. Deep down, your heart doesn't want to do that. So it's been building possibly resentment. Okay? But you've been holding yourself to these expectations, these roles up here. I gotta look like this, but I gotta look helpful. I gotta look like this. Okay? So, yeah, it's gonna, something here is gonna like push you to surrender or release control and follow like intuitive guidance instead. Okay, so again, as I've said to everyone else, it can feel disruptive, it can feel chaotic, but whatever Uranus is doing here, it is prompting liberation, freedom. Okay, all right, some things you guys can do. Remember, small changes versus big sweeping changes at this new moon in particular. So I would say adjust one overgiving interaction. So like, for example, you could tell a family member, like, maybe you'll help them later instead of just dropping everything that you're doing in the moment. Okay, small steps, right? Another thing you could do is declutter, reorganize a small space for you guys, right? This is happening in your third house, your immediate environment. You clear your space, you clear your mind. You got me? So clear out one shelf, a drawer, your desk, one little corner in the room, and notice how your mood starts to lift. It's in these small things that we will realize at the next Virgo new moon, at 29 degrees in about a month. We'll start to see why these small steps were so important and so life-changing, literally. Okay, last thing I have for you guys, maybe have some type of nightly reflection or meditation routine. So like, for example, before bed, you could write down one worry. Okay, like literally write down a fear of yours, write down one thing you are grateful for the day, right? And let go of the things that like you cannot control. Okay, because that is really what this Uranus is going to do. It's going to prompt you to let go of things you can't control, because you also have Pluto in the house of control. Okay, and they're working together. Okay, all right. I think that is it. Yes. All right, let's get to the screen. Let's get your card. Don't forget, Cancerians, your tarot reading is coming out tomorrow morning, okay, with the daily message, okay? So here I'm just going to give you a wild card. We go more in depth with the tarot in that reading. When you put, listen, this is your card. This is your card. When you put yourself center stage, it's easier to see the next step. And if you won't do it, I will. That was a channel from the universe. Okay, the card don't say all that. That was just a channel that literally flowed through the medium that is my mouth. Okay? So that is what I have for you, Cancerians. All right, you guys do have a beautiful new moon. All right, and we shall commence yet again for the Pisces lunar eclipse. All right, Leo, let's go. Let me get your chart, Kiara. Perfect. And alrighty. All right, we in there. All right, Leo, let's talk. First, let's help you find the yacht in your chart and what we're talking about, what we're looking at. So the base right here, Saturn and Neptune, these are in your ninth house, okay, both retrograde. They are forming sextiles to Pluto in your seventh house of one-on-one relationships. These are our supporting planets right here. These are helpful during this time. Passively, right, because it's a sextile, but helpful. Okay. However, they are applying uncomfortable, awkward pressure to the new moon in the second house. This is the apex. This is the point of pressure, the point of change. These are supporting us in making whatever changes we need to make here. Uranus is the wild factor. It's going to square this new moon. It's already squaring the sun, like literally right now as I'm speaking. It's going to square the new moon. It's going to go exact at the time of the new moon. And this is going to prompt action. So while we have support here for these changes, this is not necessarily enough. Sextiles are not necessarily enough for action. It's kind of passive. It's in the background. Okay. This, I think, is what is going to prompt action. All right, so let's just make that clear. Last thing is Uranus also rules your seventh house of other people. So whatever happens here affects you. Okay. So Leo, I would say like you're being asked to lay down the performance. We've been talking about this. Not because your light is too much, not because you're not talented and awesome and we don't like seeing you, but because you deserve to shine without like having to audition for people's love. And that's what's been happening. Okay, that's what's been happening. And the yard is pushing you like towards more authenticity. And it's so raw that I feel like it scares you, you know? And that's exactly, I would say that's exactly how you know it's real though. Okay? So it's going to prompt you to possibly show up more authentically, not in this curated, performative way. Like really get to the heart of who you are. Okay, and that has obviously with this happening in your second house a lot to do with your self-worth. There'll probably be things with like assets and letting go of like superficial excess. Okay, and that will probably come more with the lunar eclipse here in the 8th house of OPP, other people's things. Okay, so let's start here. I'm just going to touch a little bit on all those little points. So the new moon, second house, personal resources, your values, your self-worth, right? You're going to have to reorient your relationship with what you value, how you earn what you value, and how you spend it. Okay? And like the tangible things that you buy to show your power. You get what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? The things that we think make us who we are, that we think make us powerful, that we think make us look a certain way or show up in the world a certain way, those things will be addressed, excuse me. Okay. So yeah, because it's like this old way of securing yourself or measuring your worth, it's not going to work moving forward. It's not going to work. It has to be something deeper. Okay. So the base planets down here, right? We'll just talk about them all together. Neptune, Saturn, and Pluto. This is like, I would say Saturn is helping you take a more grounded approach to expanding, right? Especially once it does its retrograde in the 8th house and comes back into Aries, right? Neptune, I would say, is helping you dissolve illusions around like what you think your purpose is or like your spiritual understanding of things, even your faith, okay? Or lack thereof, honestly. And then Pluto in the 7th house is like is very powerful force because it's transforming your partnership, so like you and other people, and any attachments in those things that are connected to things, it's going to transform that. It's going to press on that. Okay. Yeah, that's what I want to talk about there. And then Uranus, that's what I want to talk about. Uranus in your 11th house, which also rules the 7th house. Okay. Again, we know Uranus is sudden, is unexpected, is disruptive, is destabilizing. And this could be in your friendships, any group associations that you're a part of, any collective projects. This is going to push you to reconsider like who and what you align with. See how they're working together. Okay. Yeah, these surprises, they could feel jarring. Okay, they could feel jarring, but it's going to force you to kind of look at your future differently, because Uranus in the 11th house is also something about the future, something about your long-term plans. All right, so something that you guys can do, I would say identify one creative project or self expression. So like, for example, you could, what could you do? Okay, yeah, like for example, so you guys could like, maybe it's something like you start a poem, you know, you started a TikTok video that like expresses an idea that you've been hesitant to share. Maybe you started a sketch or something, you know, to just, I don't know, to be able to express yourself in a more authentic way. Okay. Another thing I would say is notice where you perform. Like, where are you wearing a mask? You will have to be so real with yourself. Okay. And I would say start to pull back slightly there. So like, for example, say for instance you're at like a family dinner, right? You know, choose to like really express your opinion authentically versus like just mindlessly agreeing on autopilot. You know, as humans we do that, right? So, you know, really, that's something small, but you're going to see at the final eclipse of this season why and how important it was to make these steps at this time. Okay. Last thing I would say for y'all, Leo, experiment with one small shift in your presentation, right? So, for example, like wear bold color. Wear a color you never wore before, but maybe you always wanted to try it, but you keep saying it doesn't look good on you. Or an accessory, right? Something different. Um, yeah, and I would say it doesn't have to be something big and flashy. Remember, we're not worried about your things, right? We're not worried about your things. Um, but just to kind of test your confidence with things that you actually like, not things you think you have to wear to look a certain way or things you have to show up a certain way to make people like you or love you or validate you. Okay, so let's get back to the screen so I can get your card and we're gonna wrap it up. I promise you, nowhere was this on my bingo card to be here for 2 hours. Okay, but it was good to test it out though, because I've been doing a lot of tweaking with the Mercury retrograde and Mercury still in shadow. So, you know, it was good to test it out. Only thing I don't like about the live on this, like doing it on the platform, is how YouTube like won't like throw it in the algorithm like that, you know? So I haven't quite figured out how that works. I haven't really gotten my panties in a bunch about it. Just an observation about the difference. Okay. Press pause to reflect on what you've learned, Leo. Press pause to reflect on what you've learned. And boy, has it been a lot. That's what I heard. All right. So, Leo, don't forget that let me come back. Oh, I am on the regular screen, child. I'm so confused. Don't forget to come back, you guys. Tomorrow, make sure you tune into the readings. That's going to be where you get your full tarot readings for the Virgo new moon. And remember, consider this like the first domino to fall. This is where we start to make the small adjustments so that by the time we get to the lunar eclipse on September 7th, we're ready to know what else needs to be purged emotionally and from the past that can't go with us anymore. And by that final eclipse, we'll be ready to fully embody the things that we started here, okay, y'all? So small steps, take it easy with yourself. 2 words that I was hearing before this were somatic, which is about the body. Look into somatic exercises, stretches, and I was also hearing the word divergent. It's okay if your path looks different. It's okay if your path starts to split from those you thought it would stay aligned with. It's okay. Please let it happen. Please let it happen. All right, so that's what I have for you guys. Enjoy the rest of your Venus day. Have a beautiful new moon tomorrow, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.